this is a kind of a philosophy to getting momentum that he learned and that he's shared with people and that I've learned. So I'm sharing it with you. Hey guys, so welcome in. It's the Dirty Kitchen again. We're in the middle of the Uriah project right now. So we're checking in. What is it? It's December the 12th today?
I thought it was the 11th. Yeah, it's
The 11th. Okay, so you were a day off. That's okay. So what I want to do, they have a little fun conversation about what we talked about the other day. It just briefly was momentum, right? So one of the big things that I've found in selling and that's really helped me is it seems like once you get that first sale, once you get to know somebody, once you get that job done, you get momentum. It almost pushes or pulls you along with it, okay? So I know we briefly discussed Tony Robbins, who you hadn't really heard much of, so that means this is probably going to be new to you. But this is a kind of a philosophy to getting momentum that he learned and that he's shared with people and that I've learned. So I'm sharing just a cool little thing, okay, to help you get momentum. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain it, okay? And it's fun just to keep this on recording because it's a good lesson to refer back to. And then after I kind of walk you through and explain it, we're going to do a little fun demonstration and see if it works, okay? So when we're talking about momentum, right, we can break it down into these 4 boxes. So I think we can all agree that as a salesperson, we'll talk about it in regards to selling, but it goes for anything, okay? But in regards to sales, what would you say your potential is? Probably unlimited, right?
Yeah.
You have potential to get 25,000, your target.
Potential.
You have potential to get 100,000. You have potential to happen to meet somebody that owns a gigantic corporation. They give you all their business. It could be a $700,000, right? There's potential. Would you agree?
Certainly.
Okay, so
could happen.
Depending on the potential that you have, okay, or that you feel that you have, that is going to result in the action you take. So let's say you for example, okay, you're not a big sports guy, right?
No.
So let's say the Spurs called you up and said, hey, we want you to play in the game tonight.
Wouldn't be too confident in that.
Right? You'd feel like your potential was low, and so your action in the game, would you probably be like right in the game and going full speed, or would you probably be kind of a little bit trying to stay in the background, not getting anybody's way?
That's right.
Because you don't feel that potential, so your action naturally is going to not be as great. Just because you're like, well, I don't have the potential, so why am I going to try so hard at this? I don't understand it. That's not my thing. Okay? And then what happens if you take a little bit of action? What kind of results do you get?
Well, taking a little bit of action.
As opposed to a lot of action.
As opposed to a lot of action? Just a little bit of action, I mean, probably not as effective because, it's all about numbers, how many people you can connect with. And
right.
So far, I've connected with a few people, but, I've only connected with people who don't need anything yet.
Okay.
So I got to connect with more people because there are people out there who need things now.
Exactly.
I need to connect with them.
So if you took less action, naturally you're probably going to get less results, right?
That's right.
It's just the nature of how things work. And then here's the interesting thing. When you don't have very good results, what does it do to your belief? That you're going to get discouraged. And then when you get discouraged, what does that do to your potential?
It diminishes it, certainly.
Right? So do you see how that can kind of be a negative cycle where it's almost poisonous, where the less belief you have, the less potential you feel you're going to have success, which is going to make you take less action, which is going to get you even worse results, and it's just a downward spiral until it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but on the other hand, okay, if we can have you, and by showing you everything that we've done and giving you some stats of what I've done and helping you along the way, and we can increase your belief, right? That's going to help you know that you do have that potential, because I know you do, and in fact we can see it moving up the board right now. Okay, so that's why we keep track, because we want to know we're on the way. We want to know that things are moving, we're not guessing, we see that potential. And then when you know you got potential, when something good happens, like we had that success with the bag drop, you're working on that other deal with the bag drop, it says, hey, I got potential, I'm going to take more action, right? And then when you take more action, you're naturally going to get better results. And when you get better results, well, then you believe more that it's working, that the process works. Hey, this is going to be good, and it gives you more potential, right? So now you can see the positive side of that cycle.
Definitely.
And that's how you catch that momentum. And then if you get it on that right cycle, then you just get more belief, you have greater potential, things are working, you have a system, you have those morning routines,
That's right.
you take more action, man, you start getting great results, and it just keeps
Spiraling
upwards, okay? So that's kind of the way of thinking about how to get momentum, but if you don't have any of those things working for you, the cycle breaks down.
That's right.
So you have to be conscious and aware what you're thinking of every day, what your belief is and your potential. It doesn't even have to do with us, that's how you believe in yourself, right? And then when you believe in yourself and you see the potential, you have to be aware of that. You can't think, well, it's not gonna work. Things aren't, I'm never gonna, otherwise you get into that negative cycle. Okay, so this is up to you, not anybody else. You have to take responsibility for the belief and the potential that you see. And then once you get those, then the action and the results follow. So you just gotta be conscious of it, because if you weren't thinking about that, you might be in that negative cycle and not even know it, but now that you're aware, you can break the pattern, okay?
Right.
So here's my little demonstration. So I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. So kind of just stand in this open area so you got some space. And we're gonna see if this lesson works, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I'm not sure if you've done this before.
What's up?
So just look at me, okay? And just point your finger out, and then come a little further this way. And then just as comfortably as you can, just kind of point behind your back, kind of to where you feel as far as you can go without kind of hurting yourself. Right there. Okay, so do you have a note where you're pointing? So do you see that point?
That's right.
Okay, so just come back around. Keep your hands to your side, okay? And now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna demonstrate how belief affects your potential, affects your action results, okay? So what I want you to do now, close your eyes, okay? Just imagine, okay, we're just visualizing it. Don't really do it, keep your hands to your side. But just imagine you're putting your hand up like you just did and you're pointing your finger out. Just think about it, okay? Now think about going to where you were, but then think about going past that. Just visualize it, imagine it, think about it, okay? Now you went past that, maybe you're pointing at the glass board now. So just imagine what that would look like. Okay, now bring in your imagination, bring your hand back around, bring it down by your side, okay? One more time, I want you to imagine you're putting your hand up, pointing your finger out. Now imagine almost like you're like an owl. You know how owls can turn their head out 360 degrees right around? Just imagine that your body, you did that twist all the way around. I don't even know how you're doing it. Your back didn't break, but you literally did a 360 degree twist. Imagine what that would look like, how it would feel, okay? All right, now imagine coming back around, bringing your hand back by your side, setting them down. Okay, so do you have that visualization of going further than you have before? Okay, so now let's try it again for real. So open your eyes, point your finger out at me. Okay, now do the exact same thing, but see how much further you're gonna go now. Go as far as you can. Okay, so you see that new point?
That's right.
Was it a lot further?
That was a lot further.
Okay, so the first time you kind of felt like that was as far as you could go. But then you had that belief, we visualized it. You said, well, what is my potential? How far can I go? And then by doing that, you took a little more action, okay? And what kind of result did you get?
Well,
probably at least like 15 or 20%, right?
Yeah, 2 feet maybe.
So that's just a little demonstration, okay?
Yeah.
Where if you take that time, even maybe before you go to your next meeting, before you pick up your next phone call, try and visualize a little bit of how it would be good, what good things can happen, what positive things are gonna come of this, and just kind of think about it, see it before it happens, visualize it positively, and then make the phone call. And I think it could be a pretty similar result to what you just experienced with the pointing drill, okay? So guys, that's what we call the momentum cycle, how to get it, how to know when you're having the negative cycle as well. So I'll zoom in on for the camera there. So just a fun little lesson. If you guys liked it, make sure you check us out on all the socials. It's at Agwestave on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And then don't miss the podcast. It's anchor.fm/Dirty Kitchen. You guys have a fantastic day. This is Taylor Abbott and Uriah signing off. We'll catch you on the next one.